I thought that if the house in L.A. had sold, they could disappear for years on the proceeds from that alone. But when I got closer, I saw it was only a piece of mail for Andrea. Terence must have saved it for me to forward. No one left paper notes anymore. If you wanted to leave something for someone to find, you did it digitally. Other unfinished communication, Addie had called it. Terence hadn't told her what kind of communication, but I thought it had to be personal. Notes to family members and friends. It was only the events of recent months that made me think it was possible Charlie could have written to me as well. Sometimes you could hope for an outcome so intensely that it led you to break your own rules in order to produce it. Even very distinguished scientists sometimes saw a meaningful pattern in what turned out to be simply noise. Terence had probably taken Charlie's phone from Simi once he found it. If that were the case, I would leave immediately. I wasn't prepared to search his bedroom. There was a small chance, though, that he might have gotten what he needed from the phone and then put it back wherever Simi had hidden it for whatever comfort it might supply her. I remembered that once, when he was in preschool, Jack had asked if I could leave my phone with him during the day. Only later had I had the unsettling realization that it must have seemed to him like a way of guaranteeing my return. Terence had recognized the phone's significance in the first conversation we'd had about it. A 21st century transitional object for a transition no one wanted their child to have to make. I looked now toward Simi's room, the door slightly ajar. I did think about what would happen if they came back while I was inside, but even then there were explanations I could give. I'd smelled gas or heard a noise. I was the landlord as well as a friend, and Terence knew that I kept a key. I went into Simi's room. This was less tidy, with clothing on the floor and books, the same type of graphic novels Jack preferred, in a pile by the bed. The nightstand was cluttered with the detritus of childhood. Coins, a crystal rabbit, hairbands, pencils, a pink rubber caterpillar, a deck of Uno. There was a trophy with a golden gymnast balanced on her hands, legs scissored above her head. The lamp was decorated with satin award ribbons. But the wooden kitchen was gone. I looked around. Maybe she'd finally gotten rid of it now that it was no longer useful as a hiding place. As I was standing there, the room lit up suddenly. I whirled around, but it was only a car passing. Its brights swung across the ceiling and down the wall, illuminating for a second the little gold figure, the foil printing on the ribbons. I should have left then, but instead, some instinct made me open the closet door. The kitchen was there in the back corner, shoved underneath a row of dresses. The hems rested on the 4 burners with their rings of painted blue flame. I opened the oven door, and there was a shoebox full of old papers, schoolwork, drawings, a rubber band bracelet. At the bottom, I felt it. The size and shape immediately recognizable. As a last layer of defense, she'd stowed the phone inside a sock. Not her own, but a woman's trouser sock, thin gray silk. The phone had been charged recently and had 68% of its battery. The photo on the home screen was of Simi when she was 4 or 5, looking very seriously at something in her hand, a shell. The date and time were correct, February 25th at 10:20 p.m. But the top left-hand corner said, no service. The Wi-Fi, however, was connected. I put in the passcode, 1234, and opened Charlie's messages. The ones between Simi and me I knew almost by heart, stretching back from Love Ya Lady to the most recent, Just her name and a question mark.